So last week, Bungie posted the state of the game. It was horrible. They then got Joe Blackburn on the megaphone to tell us all the things that they were going to do right. It all sounds good. Everyone wanted to know what was the point in the state of the game that we just got. What was the point of it? It didn't have anything in it. It was pointless, other than to tear us down and make us not want to play the game. And I think I know why Joe and Bungie, as a whole, put out that state of the game. And the answer is Destiny is dying. I know you hear that a lot, but I think this isn't too far of a stretch. So, I went through all of Paul Tassie's articles, other than the article he has in February about the state of the game, and then the Witch Queen one that was in February or March. So, 2022 and 2023, there was not a single state of the game article. Why did we get one halfway through the year? We've never gotten that before. Everything that's been going wrong with Destiny started about a year ago. And some of you might be saying, oh no, it didn't go bad a year ago, it just started with Lightfall. Bungie has said on record that everything that they do is on a 2-season basis. So when Joe talks about Lightfall in the February 13th, 2023 article, he mentions that they are already done making Season of the Defiant and mostly done with Season of the Deep, so we wouldn't see changes until 2023's season. So we wouldn't see changes until the next season, which comes out in a couple of days. So that means that by the end of a season, Bungie has completed the next 2 seasons. So we can assume by the end of Season of the Haunted, Bungie was done with Plunder and Season of the Seraph. Season of the Haunted started on May 24th of 2022. It ended on August 23rd of 2022. In July of 2022, Bungie was purchased by Sony Interactive Entertainment. So if everything went wrong with Lightfall, they would have already had Sony in control of the will. There might have been a chance that Lightfall could have been a little bit different, because by the time they were purchased, I don't think they were completely done with it. I imagine they would have had another season's worth of work on it. And you notice the game kind of teeters out at the end there. It goes really well as far as story, and then it rushes to this conclusion. Kind of odd. And then we have last season, which was not the greatest. Then we have this season with the storytelling that they've added in the past, or added for the past. So we're getting these Veil Containment missions that I didn't even know existed, that are crucial to the story, that should have been in the main game, that we haven't been getting. And if you guys want to know about that, Mylan has a video on it. Mylan Gaming on YouTube. And this is when we had the server issues. Everything's been going wrong since then. And we always say it's not the devs. It's the corporate wigs that cause the problems. Well, Daddy Sony owns Bungie. Maybe this is a bit of a stretch, but Sony's never been pro-consumer. I don't think they ever will be. So them cutting, say, Bungie's hours, or how many people they can have at the studio, or what they're doing on this project. Sony can dictate what Bungie does. They are now their boss. So maybe all the people that got pulled to Marathon wasn't Bungie's fault. Maybe it was Sony's fault. Because Bungie prior to this was on a roll with the Witch Queen. The Witch Queen was great. Season 16 of the Season of the Risen was great. Season of the Haunted, great. Plunder, it was okay. My boy Mithrax was in it, so I was happy as could be. And then we had the Seraph, which was great. We were building up, and then Lightfall got here, and it felt good, and then it just died off like halfway through, or 3/4 of the way through. I think Sony is the reason that Destiny is so bad. So why release a State of the Game article if Destiny's so bad right now? Well, I think Bungie released that article and gave the community exactly what we didn't want. And we gave Bungie exactly what they wanted. We said we weren't going to buy their game. We were all mad as could be. They didn't give us a single thing we wanted. That whole article was horrible. And we basically just got mad and shared that on Twitter. And there were trending Reddit articles about how you shouldn't buy the season. Just don't buy the game. Don't buy the next DLC. And so forth. Vote with your wallet. And I think that was enough to scare Sony into letting Mr. Joe Blackburn release his stuff. Bungie might not be completely incompetent. Bungie has not had a great track record in the past, but they had been doing better recently. And then the past year, not so much. Maybe this is me just digging too much into it, but I really think that Bungie are absolute geniuses for this. I really think that's what happened. I don't think Bungie would have released something that awful. Not the Bungie we had then. They wouldn't have released that. The Bungie we have now would. But the only difference between the Bungie we had then and the Bungie we had now is a year's worth of time and $3.6 billion in Daddy Sony. Something to think about.